Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Woman to Woman show where truth plus transparency equals healing. We are back tonight. We missed each other, so we hope that this is just fruitful for your ears. We hope that this helps somebody. Our topic tonight is World Mental Health Day. So we're gonna really talk about some tips and tools, and just really we're just gonna have a conversation for our own mental health. I don't know about the ladies, but we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks and we missed each other. So I'm gonna go around the room and let the ladies introduce themselves, and I'll start with you, Netta.
Good evening. My name is Manetta Fields, and I am a holistic health educator as well as a certified coach using Gallup Strengths. And I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be with you each tonight. And you can find me at Holistically Motivated on both Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I was a little bit off guard. Um, my name is Shayla Williams. I'm the owner operator of Shay's Corner, an apparel decorating company, and among other things. But we'll just leave that one right there. And I am so happy to be here tonight, and looking forward to our conversation.
Gina.
Hey y'all, my name is Regina. Some of y'all know me as Chef Regina in these streets. I'm also known as RH Regina Howard Norman of Origin Unlimited, where I believe in breaking limits and building futures, one youth at a time. And we can do that either by showing them how to use their best creative self. What's their magic? So that's what I'm really great at doing. And you can find me on Instagram at Naomi Delights, where there's chocolate and sugary treats, not the other kind. So don't tag me for nothing fresh, y'all. This ain't that kind of party. Okay.
And y'all know I'm Trey Curdy. I'm an author, speaker, certified life coach, advocate for Black men, an autism mommy, and a sister to my sister. So let's go around the room. What's one thing that you're grateful for? Just one thing that you're grateful for. And if you want to share in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. We would love to hear the one thing you're grateful for. And Gina, let's start with you.
Okay. What's the one thing? Well, I I came in great September, saw another year, and I was already over 50, but I'm official, y'all. I'm applying for my AARP card now. And I'm gonna be proud of it. I'm about to get my discounts, okay? I'm a listen. I knew I could have got it at 50, but I was in denial. Okay, so I was like, "Nah, I don't need it yet. I'm not going for that." They would send me everything. Oh, you get a little tote bag. I was like, "Nah, I'm not trying to get no tote bag yet. I'm only 51." Then it was 52. Then it was 53. It's like, all right, okay, it's time. It's time.
All
It's
right.
time to get the card in the discounts, y'all. It's
Yes,
time.
yes. Taylor, what are you grateful for?
This week I'm going to say I'm really grateful for my sisters. And my sister Carla, she always inserts herself in everything, but but she does. If I get invited to something, it's like, can I come? And so this past weekend we celebrated, my culture of Panama, and we had a Panamanian Day parade in Brooklyn and on Franklin. And she came out. She's been a trooper. She came out and supported. She ended up carrying the banner. And when we also marched for the Labor Day parade, it was the first time for our group to be out there as Panamanians. Both my sisters came out to support me. So
Oh,
I need to shout them out and just be grateful for them because they've been there for me. So I just want to say that.
ain't nothing better than some sister love.
That's
Netta,
true.
what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for God putting me on someone's heart, and they let I was thinking about you. You matter to me. You cross my mind. That statement comes to mind, check on your strong friends. So I'm grateful for just a simple text message. I'm thinking about you.
Awesome. Sheila's in the building. Hey, girl, what are you grateful
I'm
for?
here. Hey,
Hey.
I am. I am grateful for friends, for sister friends who are like my family, and that, of course, would include all of you ladies.
Awesome. I am grateful for the fellowship I had this weekend. It was one of our best friend's birthdays, and I was with her from Thursday to Saturday, and she wore me out. But I am grateful that I still have the energy in my body. Can't hang, but could hang. You know, we had age hang. She wore me out. I was like, Sunday, I texted her yesterday. I said, I'm glad your birthday is over. She said, you won. I said, no, I'm glad it's over because I couldn't do another day. So I'm grateful for her, and I'm grateful for all of you guys, all my family and friends. So let's talk about today is World Mental Health Day. And the fact that we have to have a World Mental Health Day says a lot about what's going on in this world. So let's talk about what does mental health mean to each and every one of us. So who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
One, I'm happy that it's actually to the level where it's a world issue, because when it's a global thing, then it's more attention paid to everyone.
Yes.
Versus saying, oh, it's this group or that group that are having more issues or challenges than the other. So the fact that it's on a large platform gives people in this field, whether they are direct mental health care specialists or they are in the industry of helping and serving people, usually when you're on a platform like this, there's also more resource, and the stigma helpfully decreases in a lot of communities where at one time it was looked at as a negative thing to say you needed help.
That's so good.
So I'm really happy that it's to the point where now it's acknowledged and recognized that yes, it's been a world issue for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Way before we were on this planet, but now it's to the point where it's saying, okay, let's address it on a higher level, and hopefully the different counterparts of do something right with the information.
Yes, and we thank our Facebook user who said, I'm grateful for my life, health, strength, and my family. Thank you so much for sharing that. What is what does mental health mean to you, Netta?
Having a grounded and whole response to how we think, feel, and act.
Woo.
So
Nice.
just, knowing what those things are and being aware when they're not okay.
Wow. Woo. See, that's that holistic. I'm not
Yeah,
started already. Shayla said you didn't drop the mic on us. All right, we can go tonight now. Thank you. God bless you tonight.
right.
Exactly.
Sheila, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health to me is probably the start of overall physical health and well-being. Just like you say, they say that the eyes are the window to the soul. Your mind encapsulates your emotions and your physical being, so it ties everything together, and it should not be neglected or pushed aside or just discounted as something that's a standalone item. It's all part of the whole physical being.
That is so awesome. My girls was on fire tonight. Shayla, come on in.
Listen, I don't know that I have anything to add to what they already said, because they just all said everything I was thinking. But I do want to emphasize that I'm personally am glad that it is something that we are more aware of, because I know growing up, you see people acting in certain ways and behaving in certain manners, and you didn't know what was going on with them, or it's just a plethora of things, of destigmatizing, mental health, and that there's several different ways of dealing with mental health or experiencing any kind of mental disorders. I don't know if that's the right word, but and I will use a good example, like with autism. I never knew what autism was really, Trey, until you started talking about it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I've heard other people say they had an autism child, but I didn't know what that really meant. So I am personally glad that it's a conversation, it's a recognition,
Right.
and it's out there for us to know what is going on with us in other people and maybe be more compassionate.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Shayla. And that's just a good segue into things that cause, mental that they disturb our mental health, right? A lot of times right now with the internet, and I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it's very disturbing to me that all day, every day we're triggered, right? If you're on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a social media break next week because every time I get on the internet, I'm triggered, right? By something, right? And it's affecting my mental wellness because every day when we go on the internet, somebody died, right? We don't,
Mm.
it's millions of people on the internet. So when you get on the internet, somebody grandfather, auntie, cousin, uncle died, or somebody's sick, right? Or when we go on the internet, somebody had a baby. That's a trigger for a woman that can't have a baby. You understand what I'm saying? So every day we go on, somebody's addicted to something. Somebody just been admitted to the hospital. Somebody's having co-parenting issues. Somebody's dealing with autism. All of this, whether we know it or not, is really affecting our mental health because I'm on sometimes and I see friends or family or even people I don't know and they're like, oh, pray for my such and such. And I will find myself praying for that person, crying for that person. You see people hooked up to machines. And then I'm sitting there and I'm emotionally disturbed by something that should not even be affecting me. So we have to be really careful with the triggers that are going on. I really want people to understand that tonight that I see y'all know I deal with families with infidelity, which is my wheelhouse, which is my soft spot, which is my everything. So when I see people with shows that say the side chicks of this, or when I see people making spoofs about side chicks, and they don't understand that you're triggering a woman right now who's dealing with infidelity, right? Her mental
Right.
wellness. You're triggering a woman. You think it's a joke. But you're triggering somebody when you make a retarded joke. You're triggering somebody. So let's talk about these triggers that we don't even know. So I'm so glad about this World Mental Health Day so that we can talk about all of the triggers that are around us. So let's talk about triggers. Anybody on here want to discuss a trigger?
I'll say, in regards to triggers, knowing what they are and having healthy boundaries. So you were speaking about things that trigger you. And those of us who have empathy very high,
Ooh.
we have to be mindful of what we allow ourselves to engage with because it's really feeling the feelings of others. You take that on, and then it impacts your well being and impacts the well being of those connected to you. So if you know what your boundaries are, acknowledge them and respect them. And it's okay to have them so that you can be well.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Anybody else who experience any triggers with your mental health?
Well, it's something you said earlier about I noticed a lot of people put up things, pray for me. I'm going through this or I'm something, you're not gonna wish them a happy birthday or something to that effect. And I'm thinking to myself, if I knew you, do you really want me, a stranger, acknowledging something that is personal to you? So I've learned how to steer away from certain areas, one for my own well-being and because not being how can I say this, you want to pour into a community or people or a situation that is close to you or something that has an attachment to who you are, what you're about. And there's so many distractions on social media that you can find yourself being lost in the scrolling of, and then you're saying, what am I doing with my time?
Ooh.
So not only is it a mental withdrawal and a deposit that wasn't really asked for
Whoa.
of someone else's stuff,
Mm.
but now you are thinking about it after you shut it down when it wasn't in your space initially. So I think one of the things I'm learning how to do better is steer away from uh, social media,
Yeah.
especially because it's a drain, it's a time stealer.
Yeah.
It's a time stealer. And if it's nothing that's going to deposit, enhance, or make me better so that I can be a better person how I show up into this world, then I don't need to be bothered.
Wow. And again, about social media. So a lot of people right now in this world are really, their mental health is really suffering on a daily basis, and they don't even know that it's coming from social media, right? This has been driving me crazy. I'm just going to give this example of how social media is programmed, right? To make you think of stuff, Everybody's doing that Beyonce challenge, that song, "We Gonna F Up the Night." This is what made me say I'm going to take a social media break, because when I went on social media today, and I do social media for my business because I have to do a lot of content with what I do for New U Nation Network. I have to keep content up because we're building a network, so I cannot not be on social media. But earlier when I went on social media, yesterday when I went on social media, the day before, everybody's doing this challenge and the song, "Excuse my friends, we gonna fuck up the night." So all day I'm singing it. I don't want to sing. I don't want the word "fuck" in my head, right? So I don't have a choice but to have that word in my head, because social media is part of my business, and everybody's doing this challenge. "We gonna F up the night." So every time you click, I block people because I don't want to hear that song. But on social media, you really don't have a choice of what you may see. So I just encourage people, like, when you feel like I'm feeling right now, that you may have to unplug, because I don't want to hear. I know tonight, if I go on social media, I may go to bed thinking about "we gonna fuck up the night." Why do I have to think about that? And I see grown people, I see women our age dancing this, and I'm like, the fuck word don't bother you? Excuse my language, and I have to use the word because it doesn't bother you to hear this song. It doesn't bother you to hear this word. And I'm so sick of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I decided for us to have these platforms, to have positive content, to have nurturing content, to have adult content, where you're not going to click on here and hear that, where you're not going to see somebody twerking, where you're not going to see somebody arguing about Lizzo. We don't want to argue about her. She has made a decision to be who she wants to be. So why are you mentally letting that exhaust you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So these are the things on social media why we have to unplug sometimes, especially when there's a trend going, because that trend is teaching you, drink a Pepsi, you know what I'm saying, Netta? Drink a Pepsi, drink a Pepsi, drink a Pepsi. If you see drink a Pepsi so many times, what you gonna do?
Drink a Pepsi.
I'm gonna post what's in the Pepsi.
Because listen, but again, that helps. Like, this is the content that we need for our mental wellness, because like Sheila said, if we're not mentally sound and getting the right information, it affects us physically. So if I'm saying drink a Pepsi, eat a Snicker, and nobody's telling me what's in it and what it's doing to my body, what the sugar's doing to my knees, but if I seen a post next to a Pepsi and what's in it, like you did the presentation about the oil, I was flabbergasted. I thought I was using good oil. And I was like, oh my God, I'm killing myself. You want to come in?
Well, I was thinking, I raising my hands readily will I admit that I was one of those people that on social media, if I saw somebody spilling their guts on it, whether they were talking about a failed relationship or getting into a fight with somebody, I was digging in the comments. I was looking because I wanted to know what was going on. Didn't involve me. More than likely didn't even know the people that were involved. But I was drawn to that trauma. I was drawn to that drama, right? To the point where I might even go back a few days later and say, Lou, let me see if there are any more comments that have been added, or did I miss one? And, again, just like you were saying, something you got to pull back from it, because how is that stabilizing my life? How is that adding to my mental stability? It becomes more than just, mindless entertainment, because that's what it was initially. But then, okay, so you read a few comments and then you move on. But then why would you be fixated on it? And not even tell the person whether you know them or not, hey, you need to, I'm about you need to just take this somewhere else. You talk to somebody. And so I had to do that. Now, I will admit, there are some times when I might see something that's a little bit juicy. The difference is that I'm not sitting there reading all the comments, because I have better things to do.
Wow, that was huge. But I'm telling you, I've done it. And I used to get mad at this. This is how I know this is affecting our mental health. And if you just tuned in, you're tuned into the Woman to Woman show. You're welcome here. These are my beauty flies. We love you guys. We're talking about World Mental Health Day, and we're talking about what affects our mental health. I'm telling you, you just spoke truth, because I used to get mad. Like, people used to be like, pray for me. And I'm like, pray for you for what? And so now I'm scrolling through the comments. I want to know what you got, what happened, or somebody died. And
Right.
again, these are people that we don't know. So they're like, oh, rest in peace to my cousin. She was, 37. So now I'm scrolling and I'm nervous. Like, what did she die from at 37? Was it a car accident? Did she have cancer? These are things really affecting our mental health on a regular basis. Another thing is, I'm gonna pass the mic to Shayla to see what Shayla wants to input. We have to stop doing things that is hurting ourselves. Nobody is telling us to go on social media. Nobody is forcing us to go on social media. It has become an addiction and a habit. And I figured this out because I don't watch TV much. Like, lately I've been watching a movie. I watched Boomerang last night, and when I do, it's fun, or it's nothing detrimental to my health, because I don't ever want to get back into TV. Like, I used to watch the Real Love and Hip Hop when it first came out. Remember, I went on Periscope and we would go on at the same time, so we didn't watch Love and Hip Hop because it was toxic and it was affecting our mental health way back then. I've noticed that social media has become the new TV addiction. It's just like watching people. It's just like people watching. You watching the show. You're really watching reality TV, and it is so drastically affecting us and draining us, because we don't give ourselves boundaries, and it's hurtful for all of us. Again, when we see somebody dead, somebody had a baby, somebody fighting, somebody addicted to drugs, somebody's mother died, somebody lost their job, all of this that we're taking in. And again, if you're really empathetic, like Meta said, we're like, oh my God, what are they gonna do? This is something. I don't even know this person. And I'm like, I should inbox them and see what kind of work they do, because maybe I know somebody that got a job. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be that serious for us. Come on in, Shayla.
I was actually gonna speak to the algorithms, because I seem to get different content on my social media, especially TikTok. I do get the challenges, but I don't get the same ones all the time. Like, I see different ones, and not only that, but what I get the most is like other business owners and how-tos and things like that, and cute guys with beards.
Wow. That's a good mental assault.
I don't mind. At least put a smile on my face. But when I do see the ones where someone is talking about their situation, like I saw this one girl that was talking about her husband just wiping out her apartment clean. She came home and found nothing there, and but she had part 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and I don't know how many, and I got sucked into that because I wanted to know what happened to her. But for the most part, I see different things. So it goes to the algorithm and I think it's how long you stay on a particular story that it picks up and feeds you the same type of content.
Well,
because I don't see the same, that when you guys are telling me, I see some, but I don't see it constantly. But yeah, I do get sucked in, like Sheila said, I do get sucked in sometimes when it's a particular story, like this one young lady. But other than that, I see, and it's those algorithms or whatever it is that they're doing with, especially TikTok and Instagram, whatever it is that they're doing, that is like a triggering thing. Like whatever you see and you stay on for too long, then they're going to show you more of that.
Oh, well, I don't think that's my case. Maybe because I have a certain amount of followers. I have like 37,000
yeah.
followers. So
I don't have that many. I can't even get on conversations because you need 1,000 on TikTok to be able to jump on somebody's conversation.
I didn't even know that.
Because many a times I try to get on the relationship conversation. I'm like, why y'all keep generalizing everybody? No, we all don't do. Let me get on here. But I can't because I don't have 1,000 followers yet.
Get you 1,000. But I think too, it's just really a matter of us really controlling ourselves, right? Because first I want to say this. I want everybody that's listening right now to get out of victim mode. And I'm not saying for people who are really suffering with mental illness, but these terms and phrases, these psychological terms and phrases, is really making people think that they're sick. You know what I'm saying? It's gaslighting and what's the other word? Gaslighting, love bombing, narcissists. All of these words, when people are in relationships, right, and something goes wrong, we're going to a negative word like, oh, he was a narcissist, or you know, he was love bombing me, or he was trauma bonding. No, sometimes in our lives, before we had all of this, when we were growing up and we didn't have the internet, these words didn't come. A boy just didn't like us anymore. You know what I'm saying? The relationship was just over. The friendship was just over. Oh, somebody, it wasn't to the extreme of the detriment of our mental health. You can't have a conversation about anything with somebody saying you're shaming, trauma, and picking all of this other stuff. No, we're humans and we're supposed to have conversations. And the bad part about it too is that we've gotten out of relationship, physical space, human bonding relationship. They have forced us, which is another thing that is affecting our mental health. We need physical touch. God designed us. God designed us for fellowship. God designed us to be in rooms with people. God designed us to see facial expressions and to have feelings. And all of those things are being taken away from us via the internet. And it's sad because it's affecting our mental health. Ned, I think you said something back a few shows ago, maybe our last season, about hugs.
Ooh, I don't even remember what that was, but I like hugs.
It could have been on video, but I think one of y'all said something about a certain amount of hugs a day releases stress.
Let me look it up. I can look it up.
Yes, and that's so real. That physical touch releases things in our bodies that we need, and we're not getting that anymore. And that's why we are suffering mentally. It's a whole different scenario of talking to we don't even talk to each other on the phone anymore, right? We just text, or we don't even communicate. We go to you go to somebody's Instagram page or somebody's Facebook page and say happy birthday. This is your family. That's why this weekend and for the last 6 months, I have been making a conscious decision for the people who I truly love and value on this birthday to say it to them and not put a post.
Right.
Exactly.
Like that post is everything. That's why with my friend this weekend, my friend Kim Geegan, I made sure that I spent quality time with her. And I didn't have to. I could have went one day and been like, okay, girl, Thursday we did things. We had a time last night. Boy, when I was right all day Friday, I said, oh, we had a time last night. But I could have said, we had a time last night. I'm going to see you when you get back from Germany. But no, she was worth it.
Right.
More than the text.
Yeah.
And seeing pictures and not when I'm able to be involved in it. So what do you guys think? Was you gonna say something, Netta?
I have the statistics.
Okay.
This is from Virginia Satir. She is a family therapist and it's on a pediatrician's website. And it says, remember, touch is essential and there is no substitution for a great big hug. We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. And we need 12 hugs a day for growth.
I'm dying.
But I need a refill.
Right now.
I need a prescription. What in the world? But I'm about to hug myself. What in the what? Okay.
I'm about to hug myself. No,
yes.
This is talk though, because as when we were growing up, we had physical touch from our brothers and sisters, from the people in our home. Even the people in our homes have resorted to texting. You 6 steps down from me. Don't text me.
Yes.
Well, I hate that. Walk up.
Yeah.
So this is why our mental health is suffering. Anybody, Shayla, you want to say something? Oh, I thought you want to say something.
I'm in such deficit.
Awareness, though.
Yes.
Awareness. We're talking about mental health. awareness is a
Mhm.
huge part of
Mhm.
that. And I was just thinking awareness, not only for those around us or those in our community, something's changed, something's not the same. What about the awareness for you when you start tripping?
Right. Right. And I wanted to say this: healing is silent,
Yeah.
so is suicide. Right. So it's two times that we see people extremely silent. I've seen people who have fallen off the map, and I've checked on them. They say, "Oh no, I'm just taking a break." They were going to heal. A lot of times we see the loud, and somebody said this to me years and years ago. There was a girl with a, she was really, really loud, really obnoxious. The guy said to me, I'll never forget, he said, the loudest person in the room is the emptiest person. And I never forgot that. So we have so many loud people around us who are really empty. So we have to be mindful that when somebody is really silent, they're either healing or dying. So we have to be that middle person to check on our people to say, people always say when somebody commits suicide, oh my God, I never even saw the signs, because most people, and if you could pull up this statistic matter too, how many people commit suicide and actually broadcast it? Most people who commit suicide never say, a person that's serious about committing suicide will never say anything. Now, you have people that will broadcast it because they want help. But when a person is going to commit suicide and they have given up, you're not going to see them broadcast it. A person who's healing, you're not going to see them broadcasting it. I'm telling you, healing and suicide are silent. So we have to check on our people to see in what phase or what mode they're in, because the symptoms look the same. Sheila?
I mean, you're so right about that. Where you look at it and you think, somebody might be crying wolf, and you see that, right? And oftentimes the response is, talk to me.
Yeah.
If you need help, call me, right? Instead of saying, I'm getting ready to call you, pick up the phone, or I'm coming to see you. And remembering that we're not mental health professionals.
Oh,
So while you can come and talk to me, what part of our conversation had better be about you seeking help,
yes.
professional help, and
Right.
understanding that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, that it is the best decision for your life, that it is probably what's going to help save your life.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Speaking of that, I mean, I'm enjoying this conversation because there's so many people out here. We need to understand too that we have to offer the help, because sometimes people in dark spaces don't want to bother anybody. And even if somebody is crying wolf or saying they're going to do something to themselves, we have to take everybody's word like they're telling the truth. And those are the people that we really want to get the help. But then we have to watch our silent people who are suffering in silence, because those are the ones that we usually come back and say, I would never think that he or she would do this. I would never think, because we see so many comedians that commit suicide because they're the happiest person in the room. They're jumping around telling jokes, and then they commit suicide. So we have the suicide hotline up. It's 1-800-273-8255. If you are feeling alone, depressed, suicidal, if you feel like you want to do something to yourself, the suicide hotline is private, it's discreet. Nobody's going to know you called. Somebody's going to give you the help that you need. And if you feel comfortable, if you are feeling depressed or you're just feeling out of sorts and you feel comfortable calling or reaching out to one of us, our social media is up. If you are suicidal, we will get on the suicide hotline with you. We are not professionals for suicide, but we will get on the suicide hotline with you if that will get you there. Just understand, for anybody listening right now, there's 5 of us right here right now. Just understand you are not alone, even if we don't know you. Even a lot of us don't go to people because people talk too much. People are not nice. A lot of people don't go to their family because you're gonna go tell everybody in the family, Uncle such such gonna know. Everybody gonna talk
Right.
about it. So we have to be a safe space in our
Right.
family so that they can come to us and they don't feel so alone that they would do something to themselves, even if it's not suicide, that they would self-isolate, that they would cut themselves. Like people do things to themselves when their mental health is at stake. So always, if you can, for the people closest to you, and even we on here, we're influencers. We host the show every week. So we have to make ourselves available, not to the point to the detriment of our health, but for somebody to reach out and say, I'm feeling some kind of way, and for us to say, you're not alone. Let's get on the suicide hotline. So you're not alone. Just please, anybody that's listening right now, that is here with us right now, you are not alone. Netta?
I was going to share, I spoke to someone last week, and we were talking about hearing, about your spiritual hearing. You know, it's not that God doesn't talk. Sometimes the problem is our hearing.
Ooh.
And so just asking God to have us be sensitive to those that we come in contact with. So anyway, this person shared with me that they got into an Uber and there was just heaviness in the car. And this person had a history of mental illness, that the person that I'm speaking with. So they got into the car and felt it and just said, fighting their own thoughts of, maybe I'm just making things up. They fought past that to ask the Uber driver, are you okay?
Mm.
I feel this heaviness coming from you. Are you okay? And can I just pray for you?
Wow.
And so, in praying for this person, the Uber driver shared, today was my last day. I wrote my note.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
And because you did this, I'm going to rethink that.
Wow.
So being sensitive, having your hearing in tune, knowing your surroundings, having a relationship with God who can give you this sensitivity. That was huge. Imagine if the self-talk, no, don't say anything. They're going to think you crazy. Don't, but the fact that God used somebody who had these thoughts before to recognize and feel what that felt like in that moment and respond in a way that undid that thought process is huge. So back to just being available, being present, hearing, and just taking yourself out of the equation sometimes. Everything is not about us.
Right.
Sometimes we need to just think of someone else. And we never know the impact.
Wow.
So that was huge.
Yeah, ask people a simple "How you doing?" And sometimes people say, it's not, nobody will listen anyway." Say, "No, I'm really asking you
Right.
how you doing." But people don't want to be a burden because a lot of times in our life, the experiences that we've had, we felt like a burden to somebody who's now never going to ask anybody. So we're going to get to our therapy card. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into the Woman to Woman show. And we are here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have different topics each week, and we like to talk about things to nurture people. We like to have conversations that are whole, conversations that are real. Some of them are very deep. And tonight, since it's World Mental Health Day, we just wanted to talk about mental health. We wanted to come on and encourage, give the suicide hotline, make ourselves available, and just talk about some resources and some tips and stuff that you can do. We'll talk a little bit at the end about some signs of depression and things of that nature, and some things that you can actually do. So, Netta, you want to get our
Before Netta reads the card, I just wanted to say it's important that we make an intentional effort to start coming together and spending time with our family. Trey said something earlier. We're getting so used to the connections of texting or emailing someone or pick up a phone and call. But even better, start becoming available. I did that this weekend. I went to my niece's birthday party. She's 16, and it's been almost over 4 years. I have background noise. I'm sorry.
okay.
It's been 4 years since we come together because of COVID. It's been 4 years, and it was so much family that we hadn't seen. It's like the younger generation, and having that connection. And my cousin and I, we were raised like sisters, so I don't call her my cousin. I call her my sister. I call her big sis. Our children respect each other. They call me niece. My children call her auntie, and they call me auntie, and then I call them my nieces and my nephews. That's how close we grew up, and we had that bond. But it's been 4 years, y'all, since COVID, and I said no matter what, we had to get together. She's in Jersey and everything like that, but a couple of us got together and we went out there, and it was so great just to see people in person.
Yes.
Not on Instagram, not on the FaceTime,
Yes.
not sending someone a heart with a smile, happy birthday, and a balloon and a fake cake, but to see people in person. I ain't hating on that. That's cute, but I'm just saying, in person.
Yes.
That connectivity, the hugs. When you talked about the 4, 8, and 12, we hugged each other so much. We had so much fun just dancing and being together. And we had not done that for so long. We felt it. We knew we needed that.
Yes.
We knew we needed that time to come together. And although it was for my niece's 16th birthday, the adults in the room needed that. The children enjoyed it too, but the adults needed that. So I know we're dealing with, being social distance and people are still being cautious, and as we should, but do not forget the importance of coming together. You don't have to do it all the time or even as frequent as you used to, but it's something about coming together. There's the energy that you get, there's that connectivity that you reestablish when you come together with your loved ones, with your family and your friends, y'all. I know things are happening, but that right there is super important. So please come together. Don't stay an island to yourself.
Don't. And again, it doesn't have to be a large group of people.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It could be 2 or 3 people. It could be outside. It could be for a walk. Like Regina said, it is so important for us to have that physical that in person, even if it's not hugging, touching, just to see body language, facial expressions, a laugh. Like LOL is not doing it. Like Gina said, that little fake cake, like that's not doing it. Like for what we need to be mentally sound on a regular basis, and to be able again to look at Netta face to face and to know that something is wrong with her, to feel energy like your friend in the Uber. There's a difference when you feel that energy, like, hey, you good? So welcome to our therapy card. If this is your first week with us, welcome to the Woman to Woman show. We're here every week on Mondays at 8 p.m. And each week we do a therapy card so that we can be aware of our mental health. And I'm so glad this is part of the segment of our show because it gives us the opportunity to release, share, and for us to know about each other a little deeper. Okay, Netta.
Before I read the card, I wanted to say in regards to that situation, I did not tell the whole story. So don't, the mental health professionals, that's irresponsible. We should call some. I did not tell the full story. That wasn't my story to tell. I just wanted to use that as emphasis.
Yes.
So, all right. So my therapy card is from Dr. Ev. You can find it at mytherapycards.com. They are amazing for conversations. We're talking about getting together. Sometimes it's been so long, you don't know how to even start a conversation. These are great. Okay, so the question for today, what are you doing to recharge and refuel? We cannot give to others what we do not have for ourselves.
Wow, that is so good. And that's part of the notes that I have here, like what we can do. And again, I'll start because I'm going to unplug from social media. At least I'm going to say this, I may not be able to do it wholeheartedly, but at least from 9 to 5, I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to go on and post what I need to do in the morning before I unplug. And then I'll come back on in the evening to check on the people who follow me on social, people who need things. But I'm going to unplug because it's too much all day. And that's just for my own mental well-being, because I was feeling that Beyonce song has really got me. Like every time I hear that, I'm just like, I I'm not saying the words out loud, but it's in my mind. And I'm like, we gonna F up tonight. And I'm like, I don't want to sing this. You understand what I'm saying? But once the melody's in your head, what do? You sing
Replace it.
Replace it.
Replace it.
You know it's hard once a song in your head. You try. And again, that's why I'm plugging, because once I get it out of my head, if you click on social media, that's trending right now. So every time you click on, somebody's doing the dance, somebody's using it for their reel, because it's popular to get the reels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do like the dance step though. I'm a dancer, so I like the dance step, but we can do it to another song.
So now you got that in your head. We go.
I got the dance in my head as opposed to the song. I got the dance and steps, like, yeah.
Right.
Let me also make a disclaimer, like Moneta. I want to make the disclaimer. I'm in no way, shape, or form an expert on TikTok and the algorithms and all of that kind of stuff. I'm just going by what I heard. So don't nobody come for me, okay? Because people quick to like, what you talking about?
Yeah,
okay, I'm just saying.
Listen,
But for me, I know when the weather changes, it changes my whole being. And I really love the warm weather and the beach, seawater, ocean, ocean breeze. That does it for me. I don't get to do it as often as I would like to, but that definitely helps me to just completely reset and recharge.
Yes.
Ocean breeze, water, salt water, just warmth. Yeah, that does it for me.
Tina?
So there's a couple of things I like. I love music, but not that song. But but I love music and I love laughter. They kind of go, but I also have on purpose, I guess, as I was leading up to my current year, I said, I don't want to waste my time, and I want to start appreciating the value of the time and understand that it's a gift. So what helps me recharge is really studying my word.
I love it.
I'm a Sabbath keeper now, so I've been doing a deeper dive, especially into the first 5 books of the Bible, which is the Torah. I'm not preaching or anything. You asked me what works for me. Reading from a different perspective than I did when I was younger, and having that level of patience and maturity to realize, wow, had I known this, now what I do to replenish myself is to read from a different perspective, what so saith the Lord.
Wow.
And it helps me unplug from other people's opinions of me, because they were my creator and they don't get to determine when I will be blessed, how far I can still go, or how long I will rock the socks, and how long my lip gloss will be popping. So anytime I'm worried about that or I get distracted from that, I can go sit and open the word and I can pray and I can ask for clarity and redirection. And that really helps ground me. Someone used to say they like to change my attitude. Well, I tell you, the one that changes my attitude now is God himself. He's the biggest one that changes my attitude and gets me refocused on the positive.
Wow.
And that's my lane. I live to learn how to serve better, but also to appreciate the gift that I am and the gift that I've been given of time and people and resource.
Wow. Sheila, did you hear the therapy card?
No, I didn't.
Can you read it again, Netta?
What are you doing to recharge and refuel? We cannot give to others what we do not have for ourselves.
For me, it's rest. It is. I I don't sleep through the night, and I haven't slept through the night in probably about 25 years. I have my moments, but as a whole, I don't sleep through the night. So the opportunity, whatever opportunity that I have to get some rest, I take advantage of it, and I don't feel shame. Those adult naps sometimes help tremendously. The housework is always going to be there. Prayerfully, the husband is always going to be there. But I need to recharge myself, because when you're drained physically, you're drained mentally. When you're drained mentally, you're drained physically, and you can't do or get anything right. So I do what's necessary to get some rest, whether that is going to sleep, just listening to some music, or even sometimes just watching TV, not necessarily watching and listening to it, but sometimes just the motion is
Right.
good enough for me. But to me, rest is important. I go away somewhere, I'm not looking to run around. I don't need to go sightseeing. I don't need to go bungee jumping. I need to go someplace where my mind and body can be at peace.
That's so good. Netta?
So I have a combination. Of course, I start my day with getting the mind of God, because our minds can get twisted real quick.
Yes.
So
Amen.
getting the mind of God is priority, so that it dictates how I respond throughout my day.
Woo.
So that's first and foremost. And of course, that is prayer and that is reading the word. The other one is something that I am learning because I'm a doer. Um, my daughter said something to me a couple weeks ago, and I keep thinking about it. She said, "Mom, you don't have to earn a break."
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's so good.
And so I am learning to be still sometimes. The other thing that recharges and refuels me is reaching out. And you'll get a text to me from me sometimes. I just want to hear your voice.
Yes.
I would just love to
Mm.
hear your voice.
Yes.
That is very important. It's along the lines of what Regina was saying, valuing the time we have here and what we do with it.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is so good. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned to the Women to Women show. Again, we're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the topic. If there is something that you would like us to discuss, you can inbox us, you can email us, and we will be happy to discuss any type of issue that you may want to get some clarity on. We are coaches, holistic healers. We are Shayla does t-shirts. Sheila has a nail company. Gina bakes goods. If you need it, we got it. Our other beauty flies who are not here, Theo is a coach as well. Our other Gina is into healing and wholeness and wellness. So reach out to us if you need us, because we are all about mental health, mental wellness, and we have fun on here too. So this conversation today is because it's World Mental Health Day, and we really wanted to touch on this because we are really big on loving on people, giving people healthy content. And again, I just want to say, if you are not feeling yourself, or if you are feeling some kind of way, please, please, please reach out to the suicide hotline and just know that you're not alone. The most important message I'm going to leave you tonight is the suicide hotline is open, it is confidential, it is free. If you want to do it, if you need help from one of us, we are more than happy to jump on with you. If you feel scared and afraid and alone, if you are at the end of your rope, please don't. Just please reach out to somebody. You matter to somebody. I want every person that's listening, whether you think you don't matter, whether you know you don't matter, you matter to
Yes.
somebody. Somebody's going to miss you. Somebody's going to wish you had called them. So please just reach out. And for us, I want us to offer the help. Everybody who's listening, if you feel like you're in a good space, I want us to just look around, because sometimes the signs are there, like Netta said with her friend in the car. Sometimes the signs are there. We're like, let me mind my business. Let me mind my business. Let me tell y'all, I was in Walgreens. I went in Walgreens to get a birthday card for my friend. And when I pulled up, a car pulled up next to me. And the guy got out of the car. He went into Walgreens. And a car pulled up on the other side of his car. And a woman, there were kids in his car. And the woman said, hey. And the little boy, he rolled his window down and she started talking to him. And I'm like, well, I got out the car and I went into Walgreens and I looked around. I found the guy. I said, excuse me, do you know that lady in the car that pulled up next to you? He said, yeah, that's my mom. I was like, oh, okay. Because she was like, hey, you. He started laughing. He said, thank you so much. I said, no, because we're not stealing. We're not minding our business. We're still kids. And we live in a society where I can actually see those kids on the news and be like, oh, if only I would have said something.
Right.
Our business, but she wasn't going to steal that little boy. He was like, thank you so much. And then his mom came in the store because he had texted her and said he left his wallet in the car. And she came in and he was like, yeah, she told on you. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, you were talking about some, I know who you was. She was like, and the mother was like, no, thank you so much. I said, this is what we have to do for each other.
Yeah.
People are being sex trafficked, snatched up, all because we're minding our business. You are my business. Kayla, you are my business. Sheila, you are my business. Gina, you are my business. Regina is my business. And Theo is my business. You might be mad at me for a day or two, but I'm going to call you up and be like, girl, let it go. And I just had to tell you the truth. But you ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere, right? So we have to start in a good way minding each other's business. We're not talking about something backbiting and talking mess up in a good way. When you see something, say something. When you see somebody not acting themselves, when you see somebody isolating, the one who was the life of the party, drawing away, pulling away, when you see somebody that's fall up, they're not answering in the group chat, I'm going to need y'all to check on those people. You understand? And if we start doing that more and more, we can save lives. So let's do our final thought for the evening, and we can go around the room. We love you too, Theo. We can go around the room and we can see who wants to go first with their final thought. That's our other beauty fly, our other co-host, Theodora Carter. Let's shout her out tonight. We miss you.
Hey, Theo.
I'll start. I was going to say, if you see something, say something doesn't just apply to threats for the world or the government or whatever the case may be. Say something occurs in your home. It occurs in your family, in your community. We can kind of tell when something has changed. That's if you're connected.
Yes.
If we've been shut down and not talking to folks, connected.
Yes.
Shut down, isolating, because that's the thief of joy right there. Isolation. That's the trick of the enemy. So don't let that happen. Isolation is totally different from being rested or getting some time and recovering. That's different. So if you see something, say something and let that person know that they matter to you. Their presence matters. What they're going through matters. People want to be seen, heard, and know that they matter.
Acknowledge.
I love that. And again, let's do this too. Even when we don't see something, let's just make it a habit of telling the people around us, at the job, at the store, you matter. Somebody loves you. If we did more of that, especially in our homes and in our families, to say, and a lot of times we're waiting for the guillotine to drop. When we don't have to, we can call somebody and say, I love you. Me and all of my friends, whenever we get off the phone, Netta, all included, I always say, I love you.
Yep.
It's disturbing to a lot of folks. And sometimes people hang up because they ain't not expecting me to say, I love you. But I say, I love you at the end of every conversation because I don't know if that person knows that they're loved. And I love that person. If you're in my space, I love you. So let's make a habit of saying, you matter. If you're not comfortable with saying I love you at the end of the phone call, tell that person that's good. That's our new campaign. You matter. The Women to Women Show new campaign is You Matter. Everybody that you get on the phone with from now on. Who wants to go next with their final thought? You matter.
I kind of want to piggyback on what Netta said, but just in a simple in a way, well, not a simple way, but just for me. I'm not always want to say, how are you, especially to a stranger, but I would very easily say good morning or good afternoon or smile. Something as simple as that sometimes is all it takes. Someone is looking down, if I'm walking by and they're looking down and not even look like they're not paying attention, I would say good morning and smile or hi, and and keep it moving. And sometimes, if there's a reflection somewhere, I could see the, kind of the look back, So sometimes, yeah, a smile and a good morning, just a simple greeting to someone, if they never got greeted that morning or that day, can help as well.
Yes, that you just changed the dynamic of somebody's
Mhm.
day. Sheila or Gina?
My grandmother used to tell me growing up, it doesn't cost you anything to smile. She used to say that all the time. And I'm a firm believer in common courtesy. Just because you breathe the same air I breathe, you deserve the dignity and respect. So at the very least, like Shayla said, hello, how are you? Those things go a long way. And just one more thing is a little Pookie placed properly goes a long way as well.
Yes.
Every now and again, you can have a little Pookieism moment. It could brighten up somebody's day. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
And this weekend, I had some Pookie moments. Okay.
You was
And
Pookie out this weekend.
say what?
You need the Pookie skills, though. We don't all have the Pookie skills.
You gotta know how to bring it in, bring it out. But it makes people day. They can have a good time. As long as we have a good time, okay?
Yes. Sheila?
Echoing the sentiments that Shayla and Regina just expressed, a smile and a hello can make a difference in someone's day. Thinking about Netta's story about the Uber driver, the same thing. It's just something as simple as a hello, something as simple as a smile direct that person can change their day and let them know that they matter. The other thing that I want to say is that, whatever you may think about Charlemagne the God from radio station 105.1 in New York, the Breakfast Club, he is one of the first people that I can recall that had some kind of celebrity status that talked about mental health, who talked openly about therapy and the benefits of it, and the fact that he's still going, and the fact that he's encouraging people to seek out therapy. But and I don't know if he actually coined this phrase, but I like that he says mental wealth, because the health of your mentality is the wealth. Your well-being is the wealth. That's where you can get all of your riches from. And I mean, and we know that God is going to provide, but he's also given us the ability to seek out health to attain that mental wealthiness.
Yes, girl. Yes. He wants us to he wants us to go. He created the therapist. He created the holistic, different resources other than meds. He created different options. He created the physical therapist. He created the doctor. He created these people, and have discernment and pray about some things that everybody tells you to know that these are the right things for you. But he created each and every one of us. And Theo said Taraji P. Henson also has a mental health foundation. Thank you, Taraji P. And thank you, Charlemagne the God. We appreciate you using your platform to push the needle, to push the narrative, to change the narrative of mental health is getting therapy is normal. And we want everybody listening to understand that getting therapy is normal. Not getting therapy is that's a mental illness to think that way, that somebody is inflicted on you. So I'm just going to read a few notes that I have here so that we can and we'll end on this. Remember that people are dealing with breakups, addictions, co-parenting, stressful jobs, failure, stress, overwhelm. Every day when we go on social media as human beings, we are triggered all day by the internet. So we, each and every one of us, have to be mindful of what we're posting, right? You don't know what's triggering another person. When you post a death, you're triggering somebody who just lost a loved one. As happy as a wedding is, and I'm not saying these things, But as happy as a wedding is, somebody's getting a divorce. As happy as a birth is, somebody can't have a baby. A birthday, somebody just lost a loved one. A bottle of alcohol is a trigger to an alcoholic. A side chick is a trigger to a woman whose family is being devastated by this woman. Miscarriages, these are all triggers. We never know what somebody's going through. And these are the things that are affecting our mental health. There's no real human interaction anymore. So let's make it let's be mindful that we need each other. Go to your family, go to your friends. We talked about the hugs. How was it? 4, 8, and 12? 4, 8, and 12. If you could just hug somebody, here are some things that you can do to restore and revive yourself. Unplug. Unplug when you need to unplug. You're not going to miss anything. I guarantee you, if you leave social media for a week, when you come back, your friends, family, they're all going to be doing the same stuff. Go to coaching or therapy if you need help. Be mindful of your triggers. Be responsible for your healing. Be responsible for your healing. Ask for help. Know that somebody loves you. I don't care how unloved you feel, somebody loves you. Walk away from things that no longer serve you, that abuse your mental health. Protect your peace at all costs. You have to set the boundaries. Let go of the past. Stop being a victim. The internet has us all playing a victim. Stop listening to these psychiatrists, these people who are not the psychiatrists, sorry. Stop listening to these people who are not psychiatrists, who are not mental health professionals. If you want to know what a narcissist is, if you want to know what love bombing is, if you want to know what all these terms are, unless you are getting it from a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a mental health expert, you are, it's a detriment to your own mental health when you're getting this from influencers. Okay, I'm real cautious about myself being an influencer, what I say. I tell people, I don't take clients who I believe need therapy because that is above my pay grade. I don't play with people's mental health. There's plenty of people who I had to, your money's no good here. Your money's no good here. You're talking about trauma that's above my mental pay grade, above my pay grade. I don't deal with childhood trauma. I don't deal with emotional abuse. I'm a life coach and a relationship coach. I get you from where you are to where you're trying to go. Okay, so I want you guys to be careful of those things. Depression symptoms, and then we're going to let you guys go. I just want to get this stuff out for you guys tonight. Bear with me. Depression symptoms, trouble concentrating, remembering details, making decisions, feelings of guilt, worthlessness, and helplessness, pessimism and hopelessness, insomnia, early morning wakefulness or sleeping too much, crankiness or irritability, restlessness, loss of interest in things once pleasurable, including sex. Causes of clinical depression, stressful events. Most people take time to come to terms with stressful events, and some people, such as bereavement or relationships breakdowns. Personality. These are causes of clinical depression. Personality, family history, giving birth, loneliness, alcohol and drugs, illness. What does a mental breakdown look like? When we come on here, we are really trying to help. So I went and got some notes from different psychology pages for everybody. What does a mental breakdown look like? Feeling overwhelmed, unable to concentrate or make decisions, being moody, feeling low or depression, feeling burnt out, emotional outbursts of uncontrollable anger, fear, helplessness, or crying, feeling depersonalized, not feeling like yourself, or feeling detached from situations. So if you're feeling any of these things and you really feel like you need support or help, please just make a phone call if you're feeling suicidal to the suicide hotline. If it's not the suicide hotline, reach out to a therapist, a psychologist, a mental health expert, and make sure that they are a professional. Please. Yeah. People will give you bad advice. I'm telling you, some people have given me some things, and thank God I didn't listen to them because I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. But we love you guys, and we thank you so much for tuning into the Woman to Woman show. Thank you for tuning in. We don't take it lightly. It's a privilege to be in your life. Follow us on Instagram, W2W show. Please subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. Again, here on the Woman to Woman show, we believe that truth plus transparency equals healing. And remember, you're only as sick as your secrets. It's healing time. We'll see you next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the Woman to Woman show. Peace and blessings. Sister,
I need to walk with me on this journey.